Okay, I want to say hello again everybody, it's only me, Wushu Richard here again with another video, okay? This video is actually for Mike Reese. Hi Mike Reese, okay? Mike is an excellent martial artist and he's always very respectful to me and he seems very respectful to the martial arts community too, be it the traditional people and also the modern day people, okay? Who do their fighting, like sport fighting and competition fighting, cage fighting, MMA and all that. So it's stuff that I don't like, but you know, I do respect everyone for their own choices in life, what they do. But Mike Reese is an excellent all-round martial artist. He's got a great attitude, I feel, because he's who the hell am I to say, oh, he's great at this, he's got a good attitude? No, you know, it's not about other people telling you you're good or not, or this or that, or you're bad. But people know in themselves. But Mike Reese is. I want to say thank you to you. Okay, thanks, Mike Reese, for the request. This video was requested by Mike Reese, and I feel me and Mike have a very similar outlook on life and attitude towards martial arts, towards life, and it's our passion. It's our passion in life, in the martial arts. I know Mike Reese has a lot of ability in Aikido too, right, which is one of my favourite martial arts ever, but I have never been lucky enough to learn it exactly, with someone, properly. Yeah, I love my Wing Chun, what I do mainly, as I say. But anyway, let's go to what I was saying though. Yeah, we all have our different ways of training martial arts. We all have our own styles, if you will. People that have like backgrounds in different kinds of martial arts, and we flow them different ways too. So for me, it's like I'll be doing Wing Chun and then I'll go into certain locks and stuff, which you find in Aikido, stuff, things like that, Aikido, Hapkido, certain various locks, some of this stuff like very similar you find, Ninjutsu, Taijutsu. So there's certain locks and things I understand and then they work really well for me, and what I do is, I blend it usually, for me, it's usually Wing Chun and Tai Chi, some basic Tai Chi, coming from my understanding of like some pushing hands mainly. It's like Wing Chun mainly, and then for like a longer range I'll be like punching, kicking, like kickboxing, karate, Muay Thai kind of karate. But I don't like to kick with the shins, and I kick with the feet for me. Now, I love it all. The animal styles too, as I've mentioned, like crane and that. But the question at hand was a very good question. I'll get on to this topic without rambling, okay, I promise. First of all, I want to thank you for this request, okay, Mike, and also thank you so much for putting the time in to actually watch my videos. That means so much when you do, because it shows that you care. We've got a similar outlook on life, attitude, okay. We're kind of different in how we express ourselves. I know I express myself strongly, but I look like a skinny fried chicken. But it's like, yeah, but we express ourselves, differently. But I respect you, and I'm grateful for, your, how can I say, your honest humbleness and just acceptance of me. Too many people look at someone for being outspoken or for being too quiet and this or that, but then they'll just pass you off as a piece of crap. Or like from my videos, when I do my videos and you see me doing my kung fu moves and it looks like, what's this skinny fucker doing, man? The kid, But it's like, obviously, Mike Reese has got more respect than that, and Mike Reese has actually seen that I've got a passion for martial arts, and this is the most important thing. We're trying to put a good message out there overall. I want to apologise to everybody watching it, but I have done and I continue to speak strongly when I say things like I don't like MMA and all this shit, and I'm not trying to put it down saying that I don't like it, and that's how it is. And it's just to me, what I say you can say traditional martial arts are a load of fucking rubbish, if you like. People out there can say what they want to do. You know what I mean? We believe in what we do, but that's not the most important thing. The important thing is we share something productive. But we can't be productive. We can't spread open-mindedness as such, the message, unless we are open-minded and productive ourselves. We can be real. You can be real, and in terms, you can be as real as the people around you in the world are being, but you may never be true to yourself. You've got to be real in yourself and feel and know what works for you. So it's no rather than going around trying to teach each other anything, people. We've got to be like, most important thing is like, we've got to understand what we do, and then from our hearts share honestly what we've learned in our lives. people will accept it or choose to take it how much ever they will, or refuse it, reject it. But back onto the topic. On the topic, okay. The topic is the question. Okay, this is a question that Mike Reese has asked me. He knows that I strongly say that I don't like competition fighting. Right? I don't like competition or sport fighting as such. Okay. And the question is simply why. He wants me to elaborate more on that and explain why I don't like it. Why do I hate it as such, as I always say? Why do I have this hate for it? Why is it all that bad? Come on now. Yeah, well, I'll tell you. This is going. This is going from. I always have to go back and explain myself more. Here's the thing, I don't want to keep going into different realms of topics, but it's like, I have to explain that I live for the absolute, at least to be on the meaning, on the path of true martial arts in terms of the origins. So what do you mean by true martial art? I'm also just saying, like, the moral side, like, there's all this stuff that you might hear as being passed off as bullshit, let's say for example, people like in robes and that, and like David Carradine's Kung Fu and Karate Kid and all this old TV stuff and all this wisdom about treat everybody with moral peace and respect. All this stuff that people will kick to the side and say that's cheesy bullshit and blah blah blah. Because all we remember is the 80s, what we grew up on, and that's why I absolutely love the 80s and all those TV films. But I'm going deeper because I know it wasn't just TV shows. I'm saying the actual moral and the principles were there. Now, I'm not religious, right? There's people that practice like Buddhism and like Zen and all, different things, sometimes related in certain martial arts. But I'm saying that the true code, the true honour, like the true, the heart of the martial arts. I'm not trying to be philosophical bullshit. I'm being real in what I'm saying. I believe in productiveness, health, harmony. So we're talking about like yin and yang, yin yang, yin and yang, whatever. I believe in that. I totally believe in that. I believe that you've got to be productive, you've got to be in the flow of nature with things. You can't be too much this or too less that, or try and force things to be your way. So it's like, I'm in harmony with it. I totally understand that. So it just all makes perfect sense to me. So when I'm talking about Kung Fu and stuff, and traditional martial arts in general, and again Aikido, things like that, right? It's like, I can totally understand those principles. I refuse to, and it's not just me refusing to be funny, but it's like, I do refuse totally to bow down to this modern day stuff that people come up with, and it's like this attitude, I should say, where people are just empty-minded numbskulls, just full stop. I will say, so what I'm trying to say is, right, I'll put this another way, let's get onto the main topic, right? Sport fighting, and let's say competition fighting, is far from reality, I'll say. Far from the real true path of the martial arts in what it was. Now, I talk about stuff for like real self-defense and real fighting, and no rules and things like that, right? No rules and real hardcore fighting, okay? But I don't believe in violence. Skinny ass motherfucker like myself, yo. You see me in my videos doing my flows? What a fucking pussy, man. Chicken ass bitch. I get myself world star, y'all. I get myself flat knocked the fuck out. But I'm just saying, right? No, I'm saying really, okay? I'm talking about real self-defense. I'm talking about martial arts for real combat, protecting your life. Yeah, they got guns and knives and all that shit today. But what I'm trying to say is, back in the day, in the ancient days, what the hell do I know? Because I wasn't around then. Back then, there was people literally wielding bladed weapons and chopping people up left and right on the battleground. It was like, they're different times, So what I'm trying to say is that in terms of the basic combat arts, though, we're talking about the combat side, right? We're not talking about the fitness, health side as such. We're talking about the combat side, and then you've got real combat, and you've got sport combat, but you can't call that fake because it's real hardcore, right? And it's real brutal, some of this sport fighting they do. And also, how can I reject it, this sports fighting, this modern competition stuff, if it's actually good, it's going to do you some good in training, right? Exactly, so I'll just explain, right? Okay, what I'm trying to say is, right then, I'm on the path of true martial arts. That's why I say sports and competition fighting, all competition, full stop, competition is bad. First of all, we have to look at the actual topic again, right? So, competition. Let's look for the benefits first in competition, because there are benefits. And if you want to do it, you want to get into competition, because there'll always be competition, then you can. But I believe you've got to do things in the right way. It's like, do you have to fight in life? Sometimes you may need to fight. That's why we do martial arts, right? So, for self-defense side, I'm saying. So, sometimes you might need to fight in this life, but not always, right? There's other times where it's not necessary. So the same with competition. Competition can be done in the dojo, in the school, inside with yourself, or training with someone. You can do different ways of training. It can be done differently. So I'm not saying all competition. Let's look at the benefits of competition, right? Running. Let's say a running race. If you want to have a race with someone running, right, a marathon, whatever, or a race, around the track, then there are benefits there, right? The guy ahead of you, the one ahead of you, is the one you want to aim to be as fast as, or you want to overtake that guy. It's for keeping you focused, because you're focusing on him. And it's not like you're focusing on him or you want to beat him, but it's like you want to run past him, you want to overlap him, you want to, because that's something to focus on. It's like a goal, like meet goals in your life, right? I even remember, it's a good chance for me to explain, I even remember Mike Reese, right? Yes, Mike, once in one of his videos was talking about, was it Dojo Tips or whatever, where Mike Reese was talking about people who want to open up their own martial arts schools and businesses, something that I've always wanted to do in the past, but saying how you shouldn't try to be going all out for it, thinking of your furthest dream, your end goal. You should aim for these little mini goals and steps on the way, right? So if you're running on a racetrack, you're not thinking about winning the race, but if there's other people ahead of you, then of course competing with that guy, you want to be ahead of that person. So that's something to aim for, right? Overtake that one, and then you got to overtake the next one, and it's like anything, you know what I mean? It's like or like the scores in a basketball game or whatever. It could be overlap. It could be even training in a school or a gym or boxing gym with someone. Or the trainer is doing something, telling you to hurry up, this and that, and he's doing certain things to work you, and you've got to try and beat, what he's giving you, the targets to achieve, and you're trying to do more than that and outdo it. So it's always good to have these challenges for ourselves and such, and it's always good to, competition's good in a way for yourself, for developing yourself. It's a good way of focusing, but you can't let your attitude change to be focusing on other people and beating other people. Now, a lot of people, fair enough, in traditional martial arts, even back in the day, they'd bow and that, they'd be even their heads hanging off them, man. They'd be going all out brutal, no pads or anything, just kumite or whatever. After the fight, they'd bow, and it was all honor and respect in the martial arts, you know what I mean? But it was I'm saying, the same in today's modern fighting, in the competitions, right? Because there's always been competition. I'm just trying to say, now, in the same modern MMA and this UFC, they'll go over, they'll shake hands, and they'll be respect, they'll touch gloves, or they'll be respect, boxers do it at the end of fights, it's not like a personal thing that I'm going to kill the guy, it's not like that. Some people are, though, they take it personally, and there's beef between, if you want to call it that, or chicken. But what I'm trying to say is, let's look at it that way, right? There's benefits with competition, benefits in the combat aspects too. If you never get into a competition fight, if you never actually have the danger of something actually coming there, then you're never going to know for the real life what you can do, right? So I'll give you another example. These monks, even in the Shaolin Temple, keep it down, yeah. In the Shaolin Temple, you see monks and stuff, or these documentaries I've seen. You might say some of it's true, some of it's not true, but what I'm trying to say is, you see old master type people, or people that are older in their age, and they're training slow moving kung fu moves and that, and they're training their balance, and they're standing on the fucking edges of mountains, on the sides of steep vertical drops of mountains, and they're standing on the tops of these rooftops, and then it's really one wrong move and they'll fall down. So it's like, yes, they're facing the danger. You see it in all these old classic kung fu films too, like Shaw Brothers, or like, what the fuck, films like the 36th Chamber of Shaolin with Gordon Liu, for example, things like that. You see it where they got all these like examples where if you make the wrong move, you get hurt as such. So you learn not to get hurt. So learning not to get hurt, right? Learning to defend, learning to avoid things, learning that it's all about self-control, not about the opponent, but controlling yourself, enhancing your senses, your awareness, and learning to move. You can't live in the fucking dream world, you've got to work in the real life, right? So if there's a fist coming straight for you, well, how can you really deal with that? So it's not Richard talking, Chicken Richard here, this is real life about it, right? So what I'm trying to say, even if you're a coward and you want to run away, and your name's Richard, or if you're someone big and tough and you want to fight, it's the same thing. Like, the reality is there, though. You decide what you do. So the good benefits I'm trying to say though is like, we acknowledge all of that what I've just said, right? Like it's like it's like a benefit of competition fighting would be that you've got the real danger in front of you. But here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing, right? Martial arts is teaching you to avoid danger, to be wise. Not run into a fire and get burned just to know what it's about. It's like when you hear the samurai like code and the warrior, and I'm not afraid of death and things like this. Not afraid of death. You've reached the masterable level of mind, spirit in the sword. You give your soul up and you expect to die in combat and you just do what you do. Or you can say, it drives you on to win. But whatever. But it's like, to me, that's a kind of suicidal, schizo, fucked up way of thinking. So, you want to avoid confrontation, you want to avoid getting your one body, feel it now, the flesh, bone, your body, one body, risking getting that damaged, and it might not be able to be fixed again. My nose was broken, not too badly, but it's broken a while ago, and I had an accident with that. My finger too, I don't want to show you because it's kind of disgusting, but my little finger, okay, you see this one, it's not very straight, it's kind of bent that motherfucking way, y'all. It's like, it's kind of retarded. Have my finger straight here, this one like kind of bent. Also another thing I realised was on my right foot, okay, my little toe, your 5 toes on your feet, right? On my right foot, I've noticed that my 3 of those toes are kind of bent up and it can't seem to open them up like straighter than my other ones. I mean, not completely straight, but I keep looking at that and I'm not too sure if it was from when I was in school, when I was getting bullied when I was a young kid in primary school, and there were bullies and they were like stepping on my feet and like really trampling on my feet. And I don't know if it literally has done damage or broken them. I guess if it was broken I would have known back in the day, but it's just that thing, wondering like, have I been damaged by the world or not? But looking at this broken finger here, for example, thinking to move it and that, it's like, it feels kind of awkward, but it's like, you know what I mean? And I look and I think to myself, it's one body, one pair of eyes, you know what I mean? Your heart's beating in your body. We're human beings. You know what I mean? We're not. It's not okay. You hear on the news, you hear about people getting stabbed and shot and all this. Now, I've never had that, luckily. They talk about death like it's nothing on the TV, like wars or certain people dying and stuff, amounts of people dying from different things. And this is not reality. It's not really reality, So we say like defend against someone throwing attacks at us. I don't care if they're throwing fists, feet, rocks, or maybe a rock falling from a mountain, something beside us, or a car whizzing by, or a wild animal in the forest, whatever it might be. We don't want to get our one body hurt, right? I train fucking real, what I'm saying. So and you say, well, that's why people developed martial arts, right? To learn to fight against, because you're always going to have assholes like that and dangerous things. So we learn the defense and we learn the attacks too, because you might need to fight, right? There was a reason why defending blocking techniques were created, and there was a reason why attacks were created too in the martial arts. So we try not to attack people, but it's like there's a skill there, right? You have to balance it, and a skill there definitely of what you need to use and what you can do. But I'm just saying, let's go on the basic thing, right? We live in a world with so much bullshit and weird thinking. Just imagine illusion type fucked up thinking, that we can't see the truth sometimes and what we're actually really doing. But anyway, even Mike Reese has actually talked about competition before. I remember, right? You were talking about that, and you were saying how about some people like get so brought into it, and they're made up to feel bigger than they are. They're the number one. It's all about money and that, money and or the gold belt or whatever it's going to be. Who's the champion, and that's what destroys them. And it ends up eating some people up too. On some people, they just love it, the hype and all that. But what I'm trying to say is that that's the positive side. That I'm trying to say the positive side of training is, it's a real form of training, and it's a test for yourself, test your ability. But what I'm trying to say is, you could have very realistic fighting training without putting the risk of really getting real injury or real death to you, without actually having to do that. You know what I'm trying to say? You can do very good sparring without actually someone really going in with the elbow straight to your skull, putting you in a fucking concussion, coma and death, which happens in Muay Thai a lot, right? Sometimes you're breaking a few ribs. Breaking a few ribs? It's your one fucking kg you're born with when you're a baby. Your body's damaged. It's not a fucking broken pencil on the table. Let's go and get another one. You know what I mean? So I don't want to get my body messed up. That's why I don't like boxing either. Because I like boxing, I like Muay Thai, I love even all these arts, even MMA. I've got respect for some of the training. Fair enough. And and with the martial arts, even sword fighting, right? You know what I mean? Or karate, all kinds of movement. But it's like, taekwondo, kicking up, whipping it out, kick to the head. I love all the understanding. But I'm just saying, in terms of like reality, you don't want to end up getting buffed up or killed. I mean, even a small injury, you should look at it like, well, what if that was your fucking life? What if that was a real, excuse my language, but it's just reality. What if this was more serious? You look at people in this world who are born like deformed or whatever, problems with them, or people with certain kinds of conditions. Things like what's his name? Stephen Hawking, right? In that chair, and he can't move, and he uses his mind to control the computer. Excuse my language. My expression, my terminology is not so great, but you know what I mean though? You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, you see this kind of stuff and you think, we're okay with our bodies, we should take care of our bodies, and our minds and bodies. If the mind's not, straight, I don't know in any essence you want to take that, just as people I'm just saying, if the mind's not clear, if your mind's not if you're not in control of your mind, you will not be in control of your body. If you put in your mind's saying this is okay, that's okay, in terms of danger, putting yourself in danger, then your body is in danger. Anyway, so the positive side, there's a lot of positive sides to competition and all that. I don't believe in the fake stuff. Competition, right? I'll go on to the bad stuff in a minute, right? In terms of the mind and the effect, we understand the how it can affect a person's emotions and all that, and mental state and what they believe, and there's all kinds of illusions it has hidden and stuff too. And then people calling you the champion one minute and the next minute they're not, you feel down, and it's all about face and ego, and you start to build these fake images in your mind of what life is really about, when actually you can be as good as you can. Most people seem to, a lot who go into competition, they feel bad if they do bad. That people feel that they're only the champion and number one, the best or whatever, if people say that. Otherwise they're no good. And if they don't even walk into that ring, if they back down from a fight, they're seen as a coward, and that means to them that their life's worthless as such. This is the wrong attitude. I'm not saying people that are coming from poor ghettos or people that are coming from poor run-down parts of the world, rural parts of the world, and then they want to become rich. They might have been homeless first, and now they've got a chance to go into Vegas and go into a fight, and they're able to change their life around. Obviously, but that's all illusions, and the people created all this bullshit. People build those buildings in Vegas and all the beautiful lights and all the casinos, you know what I mean? People build you up like this. People make you the image. People put you in the ring. People give you money. People cut down this paper from the tree, print a human being's face on it and say that's called fucking money and give it to you. Numbers, heck. We make up numbers. Numbers wouldn't be around if, printed numbers and figures, if we didn't fucking make them, you know what I mean? So, human beings are controlling other human beings. You've got to learn to control yourself no matter what. And if you was in the jungle, would you survive? You know, it depends on yourself. So martial arts, even though we're living in this world now, the modern world, the philosophy's still there, at least. So I might not be able to survive, a soft little fucking motherfucker like me, if I was thrown into a jungle or thrown into a war situation or something like that. But it's like, the training that we be real enough, like in our training, what we do in the philosophy for the actual time and the society we're living in. But the reality in our human body, because no matter what, we're just humans really. No matter what clothes we wear, no matter what advancements in technology we got around us, aeroplanes, internet, and all that, we're human beings, right? Monkeys are in the forest now, for example. Right? So if you was in the forest now, would I be able to survive in the forest and hunt for food? It's just questions, But the philosophy is the most important thing, though. Take that into our situation now. You can't blame yourself for where you're at now. You don't have a lot of money now, or so you don't have the experience of this or that, because you were never in those situations, or you weren't born in those under those circumstances. We're here and now in the real world. So competition and sport fighting, be it in a ring, a cage, or whatever you call it, that's just one. It's like basketball, football, baseball, whatever. It's the same as any of that. It's just something that we create with playing around as human beings. It's just one, you know what I mean? It's just something to make up, right? So putting yourself in danger is never a good thing. But in dojos, in martial arts schools and like dojos, you can have really good realistic training. You can have real good sparring. You can have even light contact, or you can even have things like controlled drills, then free hand, sticky hand, flowing drills, practicing your locks, your throws, your sticky hands, your pushing hands, really, and go even more harder at it, getting mats and stuff. You can do that. Then free flow sparring and all kinds of different sparring with handicaps and stuff like that, with control and care. And then when you want to talk about actually delivering a smashing, fucking cracking, destructive blow, rather than giving even a sort of percentage of that to your opponent in sparring, because sparring is usually about working some power, but it's like moving around and that blocking and working, your condition of your movement, your alignment, your reactions, and looking at your own speed. Rather than that, you see, that's one thing. But when you want to work your cracking, smashing, kicking punch, devastating strike power, you can go on a bag, or you can go on hard things, training on a wooden dummy, a tree, or breaking something, go and train your conditioning over time, push-ups on the stone floor, whatever it's going to be, they do their Muay Thai on the banana trees, work all that. So that you're working on your sparring still, training with someone, and sparring, let's face it, should be, sometimes it's more dangerous than the sport fighting, but what I'm trying to say, I said sparring should be a constant thing. So you're in your martial arts school. If you're in a martial arts school and all you're doing is just following people to do movements and katas, it might be good, it might be a kata school if you like. But I'm saying that if you're not getting a bit of it all, like exercise, kata, like forms, flowing movement, drills, self-defense tactics, sparring, if you're not getting a bit of that all, then you're kind of robbing yourself, because you need to have a bit of reality training, especially for the fighting as well, you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, that's how I feel. So that in a martial arts school, it should come with the whole package. You should go into school, be training. If you're training every day and you're training with real people, and your reaction and alignment and all that, fair enough, you might say you start to get to know the people, and no, you should train realistic. Or you might say, well, no, people start to train a certain way and everybody moves a certain way, and you start to, it shouldn't be like that. It should be like made reactive, and train, but I'm just saying, to train your reactions, I'm saying. So to speed, and then the conditioning is the conditioning. All you've got to do in a real fight, I'm not advising violence, but all I'm saying is if you were to know your strike power in a real fight, then you'd be doing so much conditioning anyway on bags and things, and on pads, walls, concrete walls I like as well, but I'm just saying that. Trees, if you want to go hardcore, makiwaras, Wing Chun dummies and all that, whatever it might be, okay? I'm just saying, you'd be training all that, push-ups on the floor and all that, but I'm trying to say, you'd be training your cracking, smashing power. So if you was in a real fight, you'd be able to deliver that, and you'd be able to move, you'd be able to block, you do so many drills for blocking and sticky hands and blocking drills in the classes anyway with your classmates or with your teacher and that. So sticky hands, sparring and all the reactions, you're able to move, and you've got the conditioning, and nobody's been hurt in all this training. So if you was to get into a fight, you'd be ready to move around. You'd have a lot, not invincible, but you'd have a lot of ability to move around. You know what I mean? But it's like you'd be able to deliver those strikes with full power. But you know what I'm saying? So every time in the class, in a ring fight, you'd be having competition every day. You wouldn't be building up for the competition to get maybe hurt, mangled by someone else. Because you never know who's going to win or who's going to come out worse. Someone can come out unlucky in a competition. Even just in a competition match, you've got to be careful in classes, let alone. But that's the development of the warrior. When I see someone developing themselves as a martial artist, even in their fitness and that too, and then they go into a ring and they're coming out of all these injuries and it's just fucking pathetic. And then you see women getting into it as well this day and age, and it's like, you know, and kids and stuff, and you think, is this okay? To me, it's not fucking okay, right? It's ridiculous, okay? It's fucking pathetic, stupid. So what I'm saying is it's not pathetic to study the actual hardcore combat art. What I'm trying to say is to put yourself in a situation. It's like, you might have two people here. I'll give you an example. You might have one person who's training like today, training in this day and age. They're training and they're going for a fight and they go into a competition ring fight, yeah? And then you might have somebody who's training the way I'm saying, who's like training for the reactions and everything, training all the sparring, but then they're training conditioning on things and breaking things rather than getting into competition all the time. And then they might come together for a one event, you know, one-time event competition, and maybe the other guy wins, the guy I'm talking about, because he's got all the movement and the ability, he's able to win, he's got all this striking power too. You can't just, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying you just keep, you work tip-tap shit as like Eric Sloan, what it says to Van Damme in the original Kickboxer when they're training. You can't win fights with that tip-tap shit, you know, power kicks. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying that you just dream and you just tip tap and that spar and then you go into a fight and you expect to hit them, like, you know, you got to float like a butterfly but sting like a bee, right? You got to hit hard, you got to move around, but you got to be able to hit hard. But you're not going to say that you're invincible, and there's a chance that you could get knocked out, and then you go really hit badly or busted jaw, fucking blinded in one eye. There's chances where things like this can happen. Busted rib cage, internal injury, really severe kick or knee strike in Muay Thai and things. You just don't know. So what I'm trying to say is, what the fuck am I trying to say? I'm saying that, you know, you don't just go into these things like a dickhead, just going in and saying, well, no, that's the bravery, mate. You're afraid you're going to get hit. You're afraid you're going to get hit. Oh, what kind of a warrior are you? What kind of a martial artist are you? Afraid to get into a fight? And you trust your techniques. You trust your techniques. Yes, you can trust your techniques, but trusting your techniques and trusting yourself and knowing your ability doesn't mean that immediately now you become so egoed up that you fucking invincible. So it's not the point. You say, well, yeah, you've got to think that way, haven't you? Yeah, and train that way. And that's what makes the warrior, you know. You can't. What's a man? How's a man going to live if he doesn't, you know, fear death enough to rise up above it and not fear it anymore? But you can say it however you want. People can say it that way and make it so tough. But what I'm trying to say is, no matter how tough we fucking are, we are human beings at the end of it. At the end of the day, right? So all that ego, all that bravery, all that courage and heroicness. Even if it's like, even if you go in there and you're like so broken up in your mind, you say, you know what, fuck your gold belt, fuck your money, man, I don't give a shit about me, people calling me a champion, I just want to do it for me, man, my God, you see an absolute wreck, an absolute emotional fucking wreck. Martial arts is teaching more control and peace than that. So someone who's a complete master, someone who's devoted their life to the true martial ways, the humble, the quiet ways, like I'm talking about, like people think I'm saying all this bullshit in the temples dreaming and peace and that David Carradine. They think I'm saying bullshit, but it's reality. I'm saying if you were to train proper, and people were to train proper in the martial arts, train real hardcore training, fair enough, sparring, you know, looking reaction, conditioning as well, working the drills, working it all carefully, not getting the risk of breaking your shoulder and arm and in class and then never, you know, living to tell never, you know, being able to use your arm again and saying, well, that was part of my training, you know. I hear all these stories about people who said they've been in fights in their lives and they're getting older. There's people that are growing older, right, in their lives, and they're telling all these war stories about, look at this scar I got on my body, man. I've been slashed up here. This is a broken ear I got when I was in prison. You know, I got this stab wound when I was fighting for my brothers in the war in Vietnam. You know, I got a shot of my asshole with someone's shotgun. You know, I was fucking, you know what I mean? I've been slain a million times, man. I'm back, you know, and this is what helped me to grow up, man. It was hard. My dad was hard on me, you know. He used to beat me. That's why I got no teeth in my mouth and I just speak like half like a retard. But, you know, he made me who I am today, man. That's why I leave the gang life behind, you know, and all that. I used to tell drugs and all that, but then I found God in my life and all that. Whatever it might be, or I found hookers in my life. And they're always telling all these fucking stories about how they were so fucked up before, or how they've been through so much shit before, but they start justifying it and saying that was, yeah, my nan, okay, my grandmother's the same, fair enough, she's a positive, wonderful old woman she was, but my grandmother's the same. My nan, okay, my grandmother, she always would say that she would never want to be anybody else, right? There's so many people in this world who say that they wish they were so and so and so. No, you might look up to them for certain things, or you'd like to have the kind of style of life they're living, maybe. But it's better to be the best you can be, and you shouldn't look back on your life like, oh, how many mistakes, and have so many regrets about your life. No, we've taken steps in the rest of it. That's right. Look at your life like it's one beautiful book, one beautiful story of, you know, you've walked this path in life, and it has helped you to learn. But it's not something to just boast about all the fucking time, and it's not something like the negative's the negative. You was, be it on purpose or just by accident, if you was in the line of fire and you got fucking hurt or whatever, that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? And if you put yourself in the line, it's like people that put themselves in all kinds of danger. You know, fair enough, you've got like storm chasers, you've got mountain climbers, fair enough. Loads of different stuff we could talk about here. Joyriders, right? You know, people driving recklessly and stuff, people that drink and drive. There's so many things, but people put down certain things, but other things they don't. But then people say, well, no, there's rules and there's control, like in certain sport fighting and stuff and sparring, and, you know, there's control about it. It's not just wild. And, you know, so we're talking about competition, but we're not talking about MMA exactly, because MMA is, I don't like it because of the ground fighting especially, and also I don't like the brutal side of it because of the blood beating and that. We're not talking about that though. We're not talking about like the brutal side as such of it. Like, the sport fighting, let's say, of course there's a brutal side, like I've mentioned, people getting really badly injured and all that, and I don't agree with it, but I've also acknowledged the fact that people want to get into sport fighting and stuff and competitions because they don't mind it, and it's their choice and they do what they want to do, and that's totally fine. I'm saying what I don't like, why I don't like, because I think it's pathetic to fuck up your body, put yourself in a risk situation like that. It's just foolish. But they obviously don't value it. It's the same as some people just want to choose to kill themselves in life. What can you say about it? You know, they've chosen to do it, and we will never understand what emotional, what they were thinking, let alone even how and whatever they were thinking, or even if they knew. But it's like they did what they did, and people make choices. Some choices we make, we just make mistakes, and that's what it is. But we have to learn. Prevention's better than cure. We should learn now while we do, not keep over and over making the same mistakes or following people that do. You know, it doesn't make sense seeing that there could be a danger there, but I'll take a risk, you know, for this. What the fuck, take a risk? It's not like, oh, okay, I'll try and win that cupcake there, or what the fuck, I'll try and win that thingy, and you know, if I don't win, oh, never mind, I'll take the risk. There's no fucking risk there. But if it means I'll take the risk, I might get punched, I might lose a tooth, I might lose a nose, an eye, busted back, heart attack, killed, shot. Why would someone want to fucking do that? You know what I mean? Oh, I might risk, you know, it's like, or I might lose all my life savings. I'll put it into this, give it a go. I'll put it into this, you know, this vending machine, gambling machine. You know what I mean? Slot machine, fruit machine. You know, I'll put all my life savings in that. I'll take the risk because I might be able to double it up. Are you fucking joking? You don't double up your life. So I'm trying to, not you. I'm not saying you, okay, bro, Mike Reese. I'm just saying, right? So this is what I'm talking about. So anybody out there watching. Competition's got good things in it. It can make you stronger, it can make you more aware, you can learn things about reality in terms of fighting, because you may never get into a real fight in the street. Training in dojos or training with people in schools or your friends or whatever, or classmates, might become repetitive, or it might become like so, the chance might not be there to get like realistic kind of training because of the bullshit fucking environment that's created. the school should be more realistic, the teachers in training and the people in there. But you've got to remember, martial arts is broken into many different categories. You've got the fitness training and the movements, the cutters, all the focus, meditation, if you want to do that. But I'm saying you've got the conditioning to toughen up your body so that you can smash things. So let's say if someone was coming up to you and you just chopped him in the neck and went and fucking busted him up. I'm not saying do that, you know, or kick him in the ribcage and smashed him to the, he's not going to wake up for 2 years. Right? Yeah, then you've done good training and your conditioning, but it's not good. I'm not promoting violence, I'm just saying, right? But you've trained that power, right, for self-defense. Or let's say you are, you know what I mean, you're stuck in a situation and you need your strength. Let's say a life and death mountain climbing situation, you've got to train your strength. It's the same thing. You train a certain conditioning power you need, but you don't have to knock another human being out on a daily basis. So what, you know. So what I'm trying to say is the training is that you've got to move the reaction and do sparring and stuff, maybe. You don't need to necessarily have to knock someone the fuck out in your class, do you? Or risk injuries, even small injuries in the classes, in the dojo class. So what I'm trying to say is, right, you don't go looking for an injury. You don't go looking for that kind of ridiculousness. You know what I mean? It's like, what good does competition have on you, really? You know what I mean? The only real goodness that should be there, apart from waking up too late because you've just been hurt for the first time really badly, apart from that though, it'd be like learning late. You should prevent is better than cure. Don't fucking forget what people know. But I'm always trying to say that it's like, apart from learning, apart from the experience of moving around with another person who's flowing his energy, strikes full speed at you, tactics, and they're trying to win, trying to hurt you, and you're having to try and move away, bob, weave, block, duck, strike, you know, the actual fighting flow of you and this guy, yeah, while you're actually fighting. Forget the audience and the TV cameras, but in a UFC fight, let's say, in terms of the fight benefits, what you're getting from the training, it's like a training match basically with a bit of danger in there as well. It's kind of like sparring with chainsaws. It's like you can do good sword training, yeah, with armour on, kendo or whatever, or sword fencing with training swords, or you can bring real katana swords and you're bit buck naked in there and chop the fuck out of each other. You know, I'm trying to say, what would you choose? Obviously, you're not educated people. So what I'm trying to say is, like, apart from the fighting experience of the training you might get in a ring fight, I'm doing all these kind of moves because that's how I'll be fucking moving. But it's like, people nowadays are like, what the fuck did you say? Pop. Is it broken jaw? Brain damage. And you see what people are talking like this day and age, you know. But, you know, Muhammad Ali and that film, but, you know, I'm just trying to say, you know, everybody, you know, just saying. Now, so, the fighter is strong, but, you know, it's like, the fighter as such, you know, the former fighter was good. After the fight, you know, what's left? So we go back to what I was saying, right? The houses were strong before the storm, you know, before they were blown down. When you got hurricane, what do you call it, and all these floods and that, and was it Katrina and all these things you see on the news, that you see the power of nature destroying. It's like, you know, it's like people think we're invincible. We should take care of the house, take care of the body, and make it strong, but I don't know. If you can avoid a storm, if you can avoid, I don't even fucking know where to begin. People like getting into a fight, right? Into a ring fight, a sport competition fight. Apart from, it's not about the winning or losing, it's about how when that punch is coming in, you're slipping past them, hitting through, or like moving as the guy kicks and you move back in, find the opening. The actual fighting tactics is basically like sparring. There's a lot of moments in real sport competition fights which are just almost like some of the stuff that's happened in sparring in sparring in dojos and schools, where the guy's throwing a kick and you've moved out and you've been going straight with your focusing on the movements and the targets and how you move, right? But what I'm trying to say is there's no reason why you'd have to really hurt someone, you know? Or there's no reason why you'd have to go in there with a guy who doesn't see it that way and sees more, yeah, it's okay to hit you and knock you, hurt you. You've got one human body here, fucked up. You wake up there's all these flashing lights and stuff on you, and you think you can still hear the crowd cheering you on or cheering the other guy, championing you, fuck. But you wake up and you look and your eyes swim and you realise, oh, you're not there, actually you're laying in the hospital bed, there's surgeons looking at fucking round you, because it might be fucking too late for you, you've only got a couple more days. So, you know what I'm trying to fucking say though? So this is real reality. I'm not trying to say that there's always deaths and there's always such terrible stuff. I remember that incident with, what's his name? Anderson Silva, when he got his injury on his leg. Disgusting, right? Other things too. Brutal fucking knockouts you get. But I'm just trying to say, right? If you saw what happened with Anderson Silva's leg with the legs cracked together, that's why I don't like kicking with the shins. Perfect example there. So I kick with the feet, but I'm saying the whole body, you've got to take care of it. But you don't try to say though, like two sticks cracking together, the strongest one, or the force of the movement. These guys are just fighters, is what I'm trying to say. MMA and all this stuff, MMA and all that, and UFC, it's like fighters. They're just people that, like kids doing a few fights, but they're not educated, they're not really wise. Like, in my opinion, it's not the real path of martial arts and the wisdom. They haven't even got to that level. If you were to bring real masters into there, they would, they'd be able to deal with that much easier. But in order to do that, you've got to live a lifetime of real humbleness. There's people who even class themselves as masters that will never be able to do that. But I'm rambling on that shit. But what I'm trying to say is, it's like, I'm not saying I believe that Kung Fu and a lot of martial arts would beat the MMA guys. A lot of these guys are really tough, and these competition fighters and stuff, even Muay Thai as well. But I'm saying that there's some people who do like Kung Fu flowing training, Kung Fu or karate. You see knockouts and stuff in Taekwondo, and it's epic kicking. I love it. And Hapkido. I'm just saying about the traditional stuff, but I don't believe in all this sport competition fighting stuff. It's just stupid. For the most part, it's like you might see someone doing karate or doing Kung Fu, even say, let's say Wing Chun, it could be Tai Chi, it could be Long Fist Wushu, all these flowing moves that I'm doing like a dickhead. You might think it might be good, but they'll be doing that, and I'm not saying that I was watching some tournaments the last couple of weeks ago about like Singapore, like Wushu tournaments. Some of these guys were so athletic, the way they could move and their martial arts was I was so happy to see people still practicing these arts, it was great. But it's like, I'm not saying that I believe that's going to work in this day and age, not because of the day and age or whatever the fuck, or I don't believe in it, I don't believe, it's another whole topic, I don't fucking believe in as such, like, advancements and things change, so you have to change and you have to adapt over the years. I don't believe that. What works, works. A straight line is always a straight line, a circle is always a circle, sizes of circles are always sizes, and the way you actually apply it, the way you move, anyone can move any way right now. I could do something totally new, or I could do something from an ancient time, but how I use it in conjunction with something else, in effect. So as I said, we can learn more about different ways of fighting and adapt and change, but not change as such. We can learn more. Learn more. So learn from MMA, learn ground fighting, all that, yeah. But not fuck around and say, okay, now we throw the Tai Chi out the window. We throw kicking out the window, we just do punching now. Because that used to be something people used to do, fight with their feet. No, you don't say that. It's all good. It's all good, y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you fuck it up, you get yourself fucked up, You're laying on bed, she laying under a tombstone, bitch. I'm just saying, so basically, it's like, what's the good in it? What's the good in competition fighting, right? Apart from the actual getting some training ability, so training with someone, moving with live action. You must have the fear factor, the fear of maybe you're going to get hit. Now that's something outside of what's happening right now. So you want to feel afraid and you might die or you might get fucking hit. Not you, or you might get something busted up, and that's going to make you work better. Yeah, that's going to train me up better. Well, how about just learning to avoid those kind of confrontations? Let's start with events like this. And say, no, I want to get in there. Alright, get in there and you get your jaw busted up. But it's like, you could do training like that in a dojo or whatever all day and do real good training the same way and get more training. You might train with more people too. And let's face it, when you go on the street, as long as you are able to avoid someone to take them up in a bar. I don't fucking drink. I don't even drink a beer. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't take drugs. I take care of my health. I'm not part of this Aussie society, as I say. I live like a monk, basically, and people think I'm this or that. I don't give a shit. I'm healthy in myself. Long live me. and when I died, I didn't waste my time because I didn't feel so. So what I'm trying to say is, right, I'm just saying, you might be in a bar or someone or somewhere on the street, someone goes to mug you, someone might have a knife or a gun, that's more dangerous, you've got to get away. I'm saying if someone comes to hit you or grab you and you're able to work with a technique, just like even you said, like Mike Reese, you know what works for you in the Aikido because you know from the training. You're not getting to get a championship fucking fight or for the championship belt, jiu-jitsu, ground. It's not about that bullshit, beefing up and all this crap t-shirt on fucking MMA and baseball cap. We're not doing that, I'm saying. Bad mouthing people and all this crap. Even people going into it are humble, but there's people that are still like blinded somewhat by it. So what I'm trying to say is like, you know what you know though, like Aikido, you might be on the street, people say I speak too fast, maybe I think too, I don't know what. Things start off slowly, you build it up, in time. I'm just saying, right, it's like listening and thinking. You see, believing and feeling is the truth. So you know what you can do. Be it kickboxing, karate, whatever you're doing, all that, Wing Chun, you know your technique. When someone comes at you, you're able to block, you're able to move it, you're able to move around, throw a kick out. You're able to, someone comes to grab you from behind, you're able to do a hip throw him down. Heck, it might even be a ground restraint or something like people doing jiu-jitsu. I don't even like it, but I'm just saying, right? Or a back fist to the head, strike to the body. You know what I mean? You know certain techniques, and if it works for you in self-defense, that's it. The true way of martial arts and kung fu, and the true way, that's what I live by. And I truly want to be honourable and honest to it, pure, not be just some fucking skinny Western guy in a t-shirt talking about it like I fucking know everything, and I'll get myself knocked the fuck out because I'm the timidest, quietest boy, been a victim of bullying when I was a kid, and I don't speak like this. So if I was with you face to face anyway, I'd just be listening to you and going, oh yeah, because most people speak much stronger than me. That's why I love the internet. That's why it gives me a chance to speak my absolute mind without someone butting in and telling me I'm a pussy or just trying to this and that. I'm not saying you would, Mike Reese, I'm saying some people, so it gives me a chance. I can actually really explain. People either listen to the videos or what I say, or they just turn it off. But they go up it in their own day. It's the same as if you just read books or you go around and fucking talk shit every day. So what I'm trying to say is, in a real fight, you want to survive. You want to try to avoid fights and confrontation, period. You want to avoid danger in your life. Martial arts is teaching us, and from my perspective, the kung fu part is, and martial arts in general, is to live a better life. Live healthily, and avoid all confrontations. And if we were to get into a fighting confrontation, we have skills, then we learn how we defend ourselves. We train the reaction and everything, and the power and everything, the ability, and we learn hard to soft. We learn all kinds of different styles, and we stay open-minded to different kinds of fighting, no matter what the times are. It's like old people that might be kind of ignorant towards technology. The same thing, we can't be ignorant towards new different developments, or don't want to say developments, but developments, yeah, and different kinds of ways of fighting, like MMA and that. Yeah, look into it, fair enough, if you want to. You might be an old school artist who likes to paint and draw and paint on paper, or you might want to just go digital on the computer and do like I do nowadays. It's all fine, it's up to you what you want to do. You don't have to follow everybody else, and you learn one, you learn two, everybody learns three or gets the iPhone 99, so you have to get it and be up to date, start ordering for iPhone 100. You know the fucking point? We don't know what's down the line for us. What the fuck? What's going to happen in the future? What kind of robots are we going to have living in our houses? Or what the fuck? We're talking bullshit. So we need to understand reality and what we're doing now, what we really need, what we really want, and just be creative. We want to go shopping, we want to go down the street, we want to get exercise for your body, we want to take care of your family, have a wash, have a piss, have a shit, have a sleep. What you want to know, how you're cooking, where you take medicine. You learn what's useful for your life, and if someone comes to put their hands on you, you learn how to defend and fight. That's what martial arts is teaching us, all the philosophies and all that. And the fighting is like the last, that's what it used to be like, the least thing, like it was like the thing that needs to be practiced still and studied. And also, it's just so interesting, and the art of fighting, for us martial artists who love it, we love it. For me, I'm not a nutcase maniac, I don't love, fighting, violence, but it's like we love the art and the power and the generating the power and how to block, and so we enjoy the art, right? So it's good practice. It's just a kind of sport kind of thing. It's like a kind of activity, a thing that we enjoy, this art as such, to martial arts. But fighting's real, and if you want to really win a fight, you've got to have good, strong strikes. A lot of people believe that if you want to be able to be a good fighter, you need to be able to take blows too. Yeah? Learn how to fall, so you know how to stand. Learn how to fall, learn how to take blows, learn conditioning and things like that. I see a lot of crazy stuff, and then there's people that do Qigong and all that as well. I mean, hardcore in that. But what I'm trying to say is I don't believe in all of that. I can do whatever the fuck I want. There's people that choose to just be librarians their whole fucking life. I'm just saying, like people, you know what I'm trying to say? knitting, fucking weaving, or I'm just trying to people. I'm just saying that you can't just take a portion of it as such. If you want to be a full warrior, you've got to do the whole thing. But you can train just certain aspects. But it's like, I'm just saying, right? A lot of people, I think a lot of people would look at. It's like you've got to do different kinds of conditioning. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like you've got to train the internal and the external, right? It's like you've got to learn to take blows, they say, like take full-blown punches and kicks to the gut. If you've got stronger muscles, you can take it good, control your breathing, smashing poles across your body. Yeah, you could do that, but do you need to? Let's face it. It's like my teacher used to say, and I agree with this, one of my teachers said this, and I agree with this. It's if someone's coming up to you and someone's saying like, there's someone's going to attack you, if you learn how to block and you've got good conditioned arms and legs and good striking technique, that's enough, isn't it? You don't have to train everything. I'm going to train my teeth. Okay, punch me in the tooth every day. Punch them until my teeth fall out and bust my gums out. That's conditioning, man. Or poke me in the eyes. One day I'll become, over and over again, one day I'll become immune to it. My eyes, super stone eye. No. The eyes are sensitive, you've got to take care of them. Certain parts of the body are. Now, we can strengthen all parts of our body, and we should be trying to, but I don't believe we have to keep taking blows as such. Or stuff that, because you don't know, you can't guarantee the control, this and that. So it's like, training certain parts of your body and training, so like, fighting's always fucking stupid anyway. You want to stop things from hitting you, block, learn to stop an attack, don't learn to take it always, learn to just keep getting punched in the face. And someone might say, well, okay, Richard, you learn all these fancy movements. Okay, what happens when one day your fancy block misses and someone really does hit you? You're not ready, are you? Might get knocked the fuck out. Yeah, I might get knocked the fuck out, so good night to me. That's what I was saying. You said, well, oh yeah, good night to you dickhead, Richard. Yeah, good night to me, I'm a dickhead. And you're abusing people, and that's how they fucking feel that they're the hero. No, I don't choose to train that way, is what I'm trying to say. There's people that want to hold their breath under David Blaine. There's people that want to hold their breath and prove stuff, or all for themselves even. They want to hold their breath underwater for years, or for hours, or whatever, hours, to try to train it, and then one day they just don't wake up again. There's people that train like mystical stuff, they've been training for years, and things like, let's say Qigong and things like that, and they end up having problems later on in their body internally, or problems also, because they've been trained a certain fucking way, it's affected their blood pressure or that, or training for years on training. I knew people that was in the kickboxing and stuff before, and saying that they got to be careful, because one day you train all these kicks and punches on the bags, one day you're going to fuck up your hips. You know, and there's that. You don't want to go all out, because people grow older and they fuck their bodies up. So you've got to train it carefully and work it out. You can't be all that. So for me though, a lot of people might say that competition fighting is a part of martial arts, and if you like take that out of it, then it's foolish, right? But to me it isn't. That's that fucking attitude again. It's like saying we should have the life and death instances. We should put that in the training as well. No, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's fucking ridiculous. You can do if you want to do it, but it's like competition fighting is competition fighting. So what I'm trying to say is to finish this off, right? This talk is competition fighting is good in terms of having some experience. But what I'm trying to say is, if you were doing good sparring with people, or sparring in a ring, or sparring in a school or a dojo with people, or in a park or wherever, with certain rules, you could get some real good training for real life, because that's what it's about. We're not fucking around, put a pair of trunks on, yeah, I'm fucking kickboxer. It's not about, no, we're in a gi, I'm this, that. You're not doing that, I'm saying. When you do sparring with somebody, or when you do competition fighting, what are these two things? Yeah? Or any kind of drill fighting, especially the random stuff that I'm saying, like sparring or ring fighting, right? What are these? These are reflecting real fighting, the closest thing to real fighting in real life. If people spar in a martial arts school, where people never work their reaction speed and their reactions and their power, like randoris and stuff you get in Aikido, Steven Seagal used to do. They never work the reactive speed and like competition fighting too. And you never work actual trying to not just like hold your arm out, okay, block this, okay. And we've got to work the technique and we've got to do that all slowly and yes. But I'm saying if you never work your reaction and speed and that, then it's bullshit. Because this stuff's supposed to train us for real life fighting situations when someone's coming at us and going to try and take us down, maybe take our lives. But we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we get more fucked up from this kind of stupid training, even wrong sparring inside gyms, which can be like sometimes, or dojos, which can be more dangerous than some competitions that people have had. You know what I mean? So because this lack of control and putting themselves in danger, and you've got idiots like kids basically without control, and they haven't even worked out the basics yet and the sensitivities, deeper training in Kung Fu and things like true martial arts and Buddha and that, compared to this modern sport fighting where people only know it's fighting and that's what it is, and they've got MMA t-shirts to fucking distract them. You know? That fighting sport, you know the stuff you see on the TV, on the MMA and on the UFC, you know, on the TV, yeah, I want to learn some of that. Back in the day, people didn't even fucking know what it was. Young kids taken into the Shaolin Temple, or they didn't know what it was. But they become some of the most incredible fighters ever. You know, because they were learning this out of self-control. And, you know, Tai Chi and things like this, and pushing hands, absorbing and all that, and Wudang and that. But what I'm trying to say, in this day and age, some of these people, right, they've got ability. Some of these more flexible people you see doing like wushu forms and stuff. Like there's some people who really, they can do flashy, flowing, showy like wushu, acrobatic moves and jumping kicks and splits and spinning around and epic like balance and stuff. But they probably could fight really well. They could jump and kick someone in the head, move around with their agility. But I feel that some of these people, if they were to get into a competition fight with some of these MMA guys, they're going to be taken down to the ground. They're going to be beaten the fuck out because they just don't have that edge, they don't have that training. They're not training like it was back in the day, or like true Kung Fu. I've told you already a million times, everyone watching this, that I know in this day and age it's so watered down to a piss, and there's such a low level. Not only there's so many less people training the true martial arts and the real martial arts, but it's like people that are doing it, there's a lot of people doing it so shallow and so crap compared to what I'm talking about. The real stuff back in the day was, even the low-level stuff was like a million times more hardcore than it is today. And there's people back in the day, you've got to remember, there was always in Budo, especially in Japan, like say China, Japan, let's say Kung Fu schools, Budo schools of any kind, martial arts schools though, there were so many schools over the years, over the generations too, which were hardcore, and they weren't even totally pure. And like I'm talking about here, saying like all the ancient stuff was all pure and, you know, Zen and all this. Some of these people were just pure talking about the fighting. They were training on the fighting. They were training much more brutal than this MMA stuff of today, and they believed in competition. But they weren't even competitions. They used to have like open competitions in public. But it was like they'd be doing it in the dojo. People would be getting busted teeth out, busted arms. People would be getting fucked up in the dojo because they were training. It was like life or death, and it was like hardcore. See, but it was like real, you know. But what I'm trying to say is, like, they weren't the best though. They weren't the best. They were probably, some of them were probably the worst as well. But some of them were the best, some of them were the worst. But what I'm trying to say is, what does that mean? Some of them were the best, some of them were the worst. Also, some of them were like hardcore fighters, and they could fight. Believe me, they could defend themselves in the street. But it was like some of them, you know what I mean? They were ready. Someone comes swinging a machete or like an ancient like Chinese weapon at someone, and the guy will be like, you'd be able to disarm the guy, lock him down, crack him down, crack with the tiger claw come through. I mean, really, back in the day, as it was, real deal, strong start to the guy, and he chucks the guy through the fucking tail block. And you say, well, look at Richard, come on, calm down, chicken Richard. You've been watching too many Kung Fu films again. And that's what they say, because they weren't living a fucking round in the day, they never clue. Like I was, yeah, I know, what the fuck, but it was. What I'm trying to say, but also what I'm trying to say is there were people that were more deeper, and they were training the soft way, and that's why you got different sides of the hard and the soft, in terms of styles too, like external and internal. So the Tai Chi and the Tai Chi, that's what it was. So things like Tai Chi and the more deeper arts, I'll say, martial arts in general, Wing Chun, Tai Chi, things like that. Bagua was good, it was like more later on. Aikido was a great art, right? So these kind of art stuff, I'm talking about the flowy stuff, the kung fu, you know, and and the soft, and the ninjutsu, things like that. You know, I'm saying some Japanese as well, Japanese, Korean, but they're the ones, you know. Muay Thai, like from Thailand, you know, it's like hard. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, it's like you can learn to be an awesome, epic fighter without putting yourself in danger, and that's what I'm saying. There's no reason to put yourself really in a situation where you have to do that. I think that's a problem with the mental fucking side. And people that do that, they put themselves in danger of putting themselves in risk of being hurt. It might have even rules. They might even put 99 rules in there and say to you, okay, you're not allowed to hit him with this amount of force. Everybody's got to be padded up. In fact, you've got to put a can of dog food on your dick and protect your ball sack. Okay, put a pillow between your legs when you're fighting. You say whatever the fuck they want to say, right? You know what I was just saying? But you're still going to end up with injuries now and again. You say, well, yeah, man, but you're going to end up with injuries in the dojos. And yeah, okay, maybe too. But I'm saying that, you know what I mean, right? You don't stand in the middle of the road and say you've got to learn how to cross roads properly. You know what I mean? You've got to feel the speed of a real fast car coming straight up to you. That's how you learn how to cross a road safely. How are you going to do it if you're just waiting for the traffic lights? No, fucking dumbass. That's what people are saying, okay? Some people out there just don't get it. So I'm just sharing my point of view. Competitions are good for training, for in terms of a kind of sparring match, but the problem is you might get fucked up. And yeah, you say, well, yeah, Richard, the problem is when you're sparring, you might get fucked up too. Yeah, maybe. But you've got two different... Sparring's supposed to have control. It's a kind of part of your martial arts training. And martial arts training is a big part of your human development. Looking for safety, looking for peace in your life, and trying to avoid confrontations for the most part, right? Avoid danger and be peace in your life and do good. But people that just want to do fighting and then they start calling it martial arts and then putting down kung fu and liberal, and they've got the audacity to talk about things like karate or aikido or kung fu or anything like that, tai chi, even jiu-jitsu. Come on. No, it's not the spirit of martial arts. They're being dickheads. It's the same way as I mentioned some of these people in the ancient days doing hardcore martial arts. In a lot of ways, some of these people in the ancient day, they was also bastardizing, right? They were putting it down. They were fucking up the name of martial arts in their attitude, the way they were carrying on. The same as you see that in the old kung fu films for fun, and I'm just saying again for fun, but in the old kung fu films, when you see the bad guys, they're the badass fighters, but they've got real good martial arts skill in that. My eagle claw versus your drunken fucking Manchester piss bag. And they're fighting, but the bad guys are always losing. And why do they lose? What is it that really loses them? Their ego and their attitude. That's what makes them lose against the heroes. Because they're trying to harm others, and the other guy is trying to avoid danger. Tai Chi, again, the Man of Tai Chi, one of my favourite more like recent films in terms of Kung Fu, because that Chinese guy is really good at his Kung Fu, right? But that Man of Tai Chi, Keanu Reeves, but I'm saying the Chinese guy in it is awesome, right? The guy who was like the trainer of Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, and epic. I'm just saying, right, with the guy though, when he was like, in one particular fight, when he was like, he didn't want to fight the guy, he was just running away from the guy, he wasn't going to fight, so you've got to become absolutely nothing. You have to do the yin and the yang, yin yang effect, you've got to totally Tai Chi it up. You know what I'm trying to say? If you're in a fight situation, any kind of fight situation, and you can't avoid it, fair enough. If someone's coming at you, you have to avoid, move out of the way, block, defend, deflect that block, absorb the attack, or just don't be there. Make a hole for that negativity, the same as negativity in your life in general, and the mind and everything. And then when there's a space, when he's open, you go straight in for your attack, or you go for goal. You move, slip away, go in, right? The same as in life, when the open doors open for the child, fucking get in there and get what you want, you know what I mean? Basically what it's like. You know? It's like, you got some people full of so much shit in their mind. It's like, you got bags of rubbish in your house, or you got bags of rubbish, and it's like, oh, the rubbish man's coming outside with his the dust cart, as we call it in England, the dust cart. Let's say, for example, right, what do you call it? Okay, the rubbish, the guy to come to collect the rubbish, yeah? And it's like trash or whatever, and you'd be there, and it's like, you're lazy and you're not in a hurry to take the bags out of the rubbish, and then the guy drives away, and he comes back the next day or a few days later, and you've got more bags, and it's just building up. Before you know it, you're suffocating, living in a house of shit because you never cleaned it out, and that guy's never going to come back. It's always too late, you know. Chuck out the shit before it's too late. You want to live in it. You know, you hear so it's like, watch the competition, count the injuries, look at those human beings there. and saying, fuck me, like, I watch more fights than people else out there. I watch this World Star Hip Hop, all, you know, these guys on there, these thugs and that fighting. It's brutal as fuck. Some of this stuff's too hard to even watch. Real fights. I'm doing all this Tai Chi, Kung Fu, and what the fuck am I talking about? But you see this stuff on here, and it's real hardcore fighting, so people think I'm talking shit, but I know what's real. I watch these videos online, these brutal street fights, and all these even ring fights. I watch like K1 and I watch some of that sometimes, boxing, Muay Thai, hardcore fights, Kyokushin. I watch this stuff because I look at some of the stuff and I think to my a lot of the stuff I watch is like street fights and thugs and stuff. I don't believe two real martial artists can get together and say let's fight, because you can test your skills, but it's like it's a low level martial arts. You know, it should be more wise than that. I'm just saying, right? It's all good and that, fair enough. Do what you want to do. You can do it like on a one-off or whenever. Up to you. That's what you want to do. I'm just saying. But I watch these fight videos online. I watch these thugs and stuff fighting, and I watch it. And the reason I watch this stuff more than some of these professional fighters out there, I believe. I watch this stuff. You know why I watch it? Because I want to live in a safe world, and I want to know on how I'm training, and I want to know and study and think about what would I do if I was using my martial art. Would a skinny little fucking guy like me, would this work for me? Now, someone across the street or someone watching this video now might say, Richard, come to my school, man. I'll teach you some MMA. We'll build you up and make you tough, because you're being an ignorant cunt if you don't. And it might be, yeah. But it's like, that's what their attitude is. And they'll say, I'll build you up and this is the... Yeah, yes and no. Because it's like, training for certain things in different ways. But I believe in the true traditional martial arts. And I try, and I'm just living my simple life here. I'm not going into that kind of training. Not everybody becomes a soldier. I'm not saying I'm choosing the pussy way. I train so much stuff that I know there's people out there in the world haven't. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the ability that I have. I'm not boasting. I'm just saying that I always put myself down for like not being so big and tough like some people, and not having that amount of experience, like having that high black belts and all this. But I know so much about what I know in terms of real fighting and real to the point martial arts from the traditional way, and from training and with people, and over the recent years and doing real like sticky hand sparring and really and being hit in the nose. I mean, like being kicked in the groin and actually chucking people away when someone's coming at me and getting them into all up absorbing. I've got video footage I'd like to show you guys, okay, if I get a chance, but it's like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like, I've got some videos, you know, I'd love to show you guys if I get a chance of me doing some sparring. Not the best videos, I feel I'm much better now even, but Wing Chun sparring with my own way, like Wing Chun and a bit of Tai Chi included, training with another guy who's like good at some Wing Chun, he does some kickboxing as well, but it's like, and I've got videos on that. I've done so much training with people too, and I know my ability and how I understand that balance and alignment and how to work with different locks and flows and, you know, both close range fighting and legs, hands, and working with the Wing Chun and plus the kickboxing. I know I can flow between so many different moves. I know how I would move. So it's like, I know what works for me, and I know so many different paths of movement and the knowledge I have in my mind and what I know in the martial arts is deep as fuck. And the kind of training I've done, compared to some of these people who do MMA, and they seem so big and tough, and they probably destroy me with their skills, a lot of stuff. But it's like there's stuff that I wouldn't put past the chance that I might be able to use, you know. It's like with them, it's like there's things that they don't know. There's things that I'll be able to teach MMA people out there. The same as them. So it's like with all, that's what I'm trying to say, but they don't have a clue. They would reject that because it's like some old boxing instructor and some young guy just knocks him the fuck out when he was like off guard, or some army general who's fought in the wars and he has so much knowledge of weaponry and combat tactics and all that, you know, how to fly helicopters and computers. But it's like someone just shoots him in the head and kills him. And you say, yeah, that's the end of you, that all your knowledge means shit. It's like burning down a library for the sake of it. It was killing some wise man, you know. It's just because you're not a tough guy. You know, he's got the wrong fucking attitude, because that guy has got so much he could teach you and make you even bigger and better and stronger. I would love to share my knowledge with people, to people out there, and it's this ignorance what upsets me. So the people out there who are so big and tough, so people with their ego, they're just doing this kind of stuff anyway, they're doing it for themselves, but then they go into competition. Competition shows that they have an ego, they care what other people think about them. That's on the other side. That's one part, okay? I've just finished now, okay? That's one part. Now I'm going to tell you the next part, okay? The next part is part 2, okay? I'll make this as short as possible. The other part, the bad side of, apart from the brutality, the other bad side of it is all the illusion stuff. The mindset, the negative side of competition, where people do it because they believe that other people decide if they are worth the fucking air they breathe. Is that? And they only judge themselves by how the world judges them. And they believe this. I had a class today with my students today in the class, and I was talking to them. And again, for another class of students, and I said to them all, I said, nearly 30 people in the room, and I said to them, do you respect someone who's big and confident? Someone who's really confident in themselves? I said, would you respect someone like that? I said, most of you would, right? Yeah, we all do. And they said, yeah. I said, what about somebody who's not very confident in themselves? They're very quiet in themselves and all this, you know? Like these fucking MMA guys, okay, so I'm sticking up for them now. In a way, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm going into competition fight people, obviously. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, they were saying no, they wouldn't respect them as much, you know, because you've got to be confident in life to do things. But it's your attitude that gets things done. If you're like confident or not, that's what gets it. But you've got to take the steps. And it's not really the attitude of the mindset, confidence or fear. We're talking about fear or confidence, the subject right today, the topic in the classroom. I was talking to my students in the college, and it was like I was saying, though, it's like it affects your attitude. Your attitude does affect what you do, definitely, but it's like it's not that really this important, is it? This key is for this door. You know, it's what you do that matters, right? How you do it. If you do nothing, you just cower down. That's your own problem. But if you've got fear inside you, that's basically the same as confident, because confident people are afraid. Now they go in for it, they do their best because they're really afraid. They're afraid of failure, they're afraid of losing, they're afraid of being seen as a loser in other people's eyes. So people that are nervous and this and that, they might not be sure of themselves. But the people that are like nervous, the people that are more in tune with fear, and more of feelings, with the emotion, they're being more in tune with their ability, I should say. They know what they can do, they know the chances, they know that they don't trust that their ability is always going to be so effective in terms of the world and reacting to other people and how people think, how people move, right? So of course then that means that's someone who's being careful, someone who's aware of the world. You can't just give up and do nothing and die, but you've got to take part, do things that are useful for you. I don't believe competitions are useful as such. You might get a few gold medals, you might get somewhere in life, and it might help you further on in your career even. But what the fuck? You must say that's reality, that's concrete life, Richard. What the fuck, that's real. Yeah, but if that's one thing. But I'm just saying, if your real life as a human being, and you can go further on another path. That's not the only way. You don't be that as a fighter, as a competition guy, so that if you run away from all competitions, right? I could say this to my students, and I know they'd say the same thing. If you run away from all competitions or all challenges, are you a coward? Yes, you are, right? People will say that. No, you're fucking not. You got to learn, and you're not you. People in their life need to learn what they want to do and what the benefits are. But if you're running away from danger, so it's about danger. You seek positivity. Now you say, "What? No, hang on, Richard. There's always more." You see, it's like, I can never shut the fuck up. But it's like you see, like there's always a chance of danger and things we don't see, even when we think we know it. So why don't we just go into competitions? Obviously, if we're making one choice over another choice, doesn't that show that we're afraid? Martial arts is teaching you to be in control and balance, so that you're not afraid of anything, and you will take risks, and ultimately you learn more control if you do. Fair enough. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you understand yourself and what you want and what you want to gain. Not what you want to gain, but what you want. It's the same thing. Just what you want and how you feel. You know. So competition is like irrelevant. Full stop. Competition in the minds of people. If you're saying you want to be the winner or you want to be seen as this or that or called the champion or blah blah blah, that's all fake shit. You know, you want to be known for the one who defeated so-and-so, who was one of the top class fighters. You want to be the one who become the next president, the prime minister, the president, the boss, someone who's done a better job than the previous guy. What the fuck? You want to be someone, you're only going to be someone in a bunch of zombies' eyes. All these people that come to watch you, not you, okay bro, I'm just saying, all these people that come to cheer you on, who the fuck are they? They ain't even got the heart to put themselves through the physical and mental focus and training that you've put yourself through as a competition fighter, as an MMA guy, or whatever. You know what I mean? Let alone, and so if someone's got that amount of mental focus and that amount of confidence to even go in, the foolishness I'll call it, but with confidence, it's a confidence and foolishness. But if they've got that, to do that, and then to train that hard for their mind and body focus, why not focus on it to do something good rather than that, do something less, less chance of getting injured or harmed, and why not give it all to themselves? Health and that, fair enough, martial art, the path for yourself, and then do things that are going to be beneficial to yourself. I would not want to go into a TV or a show. I'll give you an example, I've been asked before to go onto stages and stuff, like in the colleges and stuff, and they want me to stand on a stage and sing a song and make a fool and make a show. Sometimes I've done it, I've done martial arts shows as well, but sometimes I tell myself, no, I don't want to, because that's not the kind of fucking impression. I don't want to stand there and make a clown of myself and sing a song if I don't want to. For who the fuck am I going to be singing a song, you know what I mean? It's like, I do what I want to do. But these people's asses are owned, and not only are these people's asses owned by the motherfucking people that pay for the tickets to see blood and gore, they don't give a fuck, because if you lose, nobody else is going to cheer for your ass again. They're going to cheer for the champion. But if you win, they'll call you the champion, and you get knocked out, and they'll start losing faith in you. Everybody loved Manny Pacquiao, then he starts to lose, and people say, no, he's kind of watered down now. You know what I mean? All his time has gone around the young generation. So it's like, so fuck all that. Why put yourself in for that? You might say, well, no, it means a lot to me. Well, no, we should connect to people in society, because people in the generations, and that we are the people, and we should respect them. The same as all culture and all that. It is something, yes. And it's wonderful to experience a thing together. Like when people experience a wonderful moment together, humanity, a party, I don't know, something, right? We do, we do gravitate to that. We do, we have a connection emotionally, human beings. So competition is something that brings people together. And it's all about the desire. It's the same as when we watch Rocky movies and stuff like that, even if it's fake, but we watch it because there's an element of truth there. The element in the storytelling and in movies, and the element of truth in competitions that we watch and fights and stuff and take part in. We all feel that we're connected when we see strength over fear, life over death, positivity over negativity, light in the dark, shine a light. Everybody looks to the light. They don't look to the dark fucking corners, because light shows where everything is, clarity, things that you can hear. What did he say? In the silent room someone speaks. So we all gravitate to the main thing. But it's like, we fail to look, we look over the truth. You know what I mean? It's like a dog smelling some delicious food, and he runs for it and he falls down a hole. We say, I thought that dog had good hearing, good eyesight, or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? A good smell for an arsehole or whatever. But I'm just trying to say, you know what I mean? So the reality is, we need to be enhancing our senses and our fucking common sense as martial artists as well. So if someone goes into a competition fight, knowing full well that they could get hurt or get killed or whatever the fuck, and if they say, even if they're honest, even if they say to themselves, well, I'm not doing it for the money really, I'm going to give the money to charity, because this society is so fake. They're fucking trying to give me money for what? I'm not being used as a hoe. I'm not going to lay on the floor and give someone's ass on my face. What the fuck's all that about, man? I don't want your patty fucking MMA on my face. And they might be true. And they might say, I'm just going to go in there and fight, and give the money to poor people in the world and do some good, all this, you know what I mean, yeah? And they might say it's not for glory either. I'm going to go in there with a mask on my face so nobody knows who I am as well. And I'll never be famous on TV. I'll not tell my name, keep it a secret. I'm not going to show my true style of the ninja. No, I'm just saying, and they go in for a fight, Then, if they acknowledge that and they accept that they might get hurt, and so does the other guy, I'm in no position myself to say that these two people are foolish, they're wrong, they shouldn't be doing this, or they should follow the full path of martial arts. No, they can do whatever they want as human beings, and they've decided that, or as fighters or human beings, whatever you want to call them. So fair enough. If they acknowledge the fact that they could get injured badly or hurt, whatever, fair enough. And he said how you fight. And the danger's not in the fight, it's in the fighters. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. There could be a fight where two fighters, control the level of how they fight and how they do it. They're not trying to kill each other. Funny and weird, isn't it? But it's like there's rules, but then things go wrong and accidents and that, and then things are controlled. But then it's also that people want to see more bloodfest hardcore. It's like, it's weird, It's a weird thing. But competition, I will never understand. I'll never understand, but I do understand that people feel the need to do it, and it's a way of training the warrior to be stronger. So that's the good thing about it. So if anyone wants to do that and they want to go into fights, I know people, I've done good friends of mine, okay, that have gone into fights. I'll mention somebody just quickly, okay, Demsley, my brother. Hi Demsley. Demsley's talking about going in for a fight again. We don't know what's going to happen or whenever. But Demsley has been in for a couple of fights, and it's more than I've been in. I haven't been in any fights. All I've done is hardcore sparring and kickboxing with people. And that's been scary enough, especially for a skinny little bastard like myself. I'm just saying, Demsley has been in fights. I'll say it this way: he won in both fights. He won one fight, but he did really well in the other one. And the way I see it is, he did well, so he's a winner to me. But Demsley's a martial arts hero. He's one of my bros, But I'm saying, people do what they do because they feel they need to do it. You see this in the Rocky story, as well. But it's like, it can help you, it's got benefits, and it might even help you personally on ways that I can't fucking express and say it. But I'm sure there's a lot of points I've covered in this long ramble of a video here, right? I am so honestly saying I'm going to be fair, I always will be fair, understanding human beings have got different needs and desires. No matter how much I talk about tradition and ancient ways and this and that, we're all human. So if people want to do what they want to do, fair enough. But this kind of sport competition fighting though does also send a message out to young people and young kids that it's okay too, and violence and it's like there's I've heard this said before, like martial arts is about fighting, whereas other sports don't talk about fighting, like violence. But that's in the past, people used to say things like that. But it's like nowadays, it's like the same thing. It's just like, I feel, the problem is in other sports there is aggression sometimes. It can be more hardcore sometimes. But I was saying in other sports, it's like it's not geared towards fighting, is it? In competition, but with MMA and boxing and Muay Thai, even Taekwondo, which I love, some of the kicking in it and that. Some of the stuff you see, but it's like, I like karate more, but I'm just trying to say that. But only these like fighting arts, Muay Thai, all that. With sport fighting, ring fighting and that, cage fighting, UFC, all that, it's like, it's geared towards fighting, and fighting is brutal. A lot of times it's like aggression. It's a way of channeling your aggression as such. And so is traditional martial arts in a lot of ways. You have to do it, let out the frustration too. But it's like cleaning yourself out and the way you train. I'm just saying that a lot of young people don't have trouble with that. And in today's modern society, the laziness and the fucking use of today, excuse my language, a lot of the negativity you see in some youths of today and people in general, but I'm saying especially the youth, the next generation growing up and watching that, where they can't really differentiate right from wrong. It's more about iPhone 9 or 10, and that's what they're fucking talking about. You know what I mean? That's all it is. So they don't get it. It's like we grew up on things like TV shows, and you must see David Carradine, Kung Fu, and Karate Kid, and all this. And it was like magical at the time, and all this. It still is for me, but it's like we look at that and say it's cheesy now. But we grew up with all that stuff, and people were more genuine back in the day. Even my grandmother, and the further back you go in time, people were just more genuine, more simple. So it's like the people today who've got like all this modern technology, it's great, it's epic, I know, but the young people today, they're just so brainwashed and blinded by the world. They don't live in a reality type world. You've got people fucking voting for certain drugs to be legalised and all this kind of crazy stuff in the world today. There's too much violence in the world today, and they can't separate, they can't really distinguish between real violence and pain and harm and morality a lot of times too, and life and death. They just can't see it. It's all like a big game to them. You know, fucking else. It's like they don't value life enough. They don't know much about real life and nature and connect with those things. The same way as David Carradine at Kung Fu, when they're talking about the Master Po and they're talking about life, you know, and the philosophy of life. And you might think it's all ridiculous, but it's not. I mean, these philosophies have been around for ancient. This is part of nature. But these people are not they're not in tune with real life. So they see all this brutal fighting stuff and they think that's the way to go. And you see people imitating these moves and stuff in school and bullying and stuff going on, and people getting slammed on the floor, you know, whatever the fuck, you know, or choked out in bathrooms or or changing rooms or whatever in schools or whatever, you know. If you know, people getting knocked the fuck out and people imitating that. And it's not like, I'm not saying that MMA and UFC breeds violence as such, totally like everybody out there is doing it on the streets and an epidemic as such. But I do believe there is kind of going unseen. I'm saying I don't believe it is totally like that. I'm saying it's just a sport thing. And people who want to go into it can. It's like when I was back in school back in the day, there was classmates and people I used to know who were really into wrestling, you know, WWF and that. And there's people who are actually even learning wrestling. And things like that. There's been boxers over the years too, you know. So you know, fighting will always be there, you know. But it's like I just can't stand this blinded attitude that people feel. It's like there's competition in any way, shape or form. I'm talking about too, not only in the rings. I mean, you see all this bullshit on Yahoo. I'll turn on Yahoo on my computer right now and we have a look on here quickly. It's not even fucking worth it because I know what they're going to have on there, shit. But it's like, I'll look on there now, yeah. By the way, I want to explain something before I go, okay? I want to explain that my videos, when I show all the Kung Fu moves, I show all the training, you got to understand I show different parts of different training. So when you see me doing all flowing kind of moves and palms, I'm just explaining those specific techniques at that time. I do understand different fight concepts and ways to fight as well, okay? So I'm just explaining that, okay, for people to understand. I explain a lot of flashy flowing moves and like flexibility of wushu, but that's different kind of training, as I must say, okay? And then you've got that tight quarters combat, you know, close quarter combat. So let's go on Yahoo really quickly for one moment before we go to show you what I'm talking about. There's another one here, California gunman, all this violence in the world anyway. It's just fucking enough anyway, for fuck's sake. To worry about things like this, it's shit, man. Anyway, hold on one second. Sorry, I really can't find a good example. There's a lot of stuff here, but like, I can't find an example. But what I'm trying to say is, there's so much stuff you see on the TV that, you know, pop stars and all kinds of bullshit, which is like basically, you know, which is basically the same kind of thing, you know, the same like competition stuff, and people are led to believe there's a certain standard you have to live up to, the society's expectation. You've got to be a certain way to be appreciated and accepted by the society. In order to, you've got to prove yourself in order to have worth in yourself in this world. And I believe that's bullshit. But putting yourself in danger is another ridiculous thing as well. So if you were doing it all and you didn't give a fuck really what people thought, you know, or you did even, but it was like there weren't a danger element involved, then fair enough. You said there's always going to be danger in sport. Baseball, you can get smacked in the head with a ball or whatever. You know, I'm just saying, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm just saying. So like, when fighting, you know, sport fighting, it is what it is. I believe in realistic, real training. When you're training for real self-defense and real martial arts, good sparring, good practice of all the moves, realistically, randori, all that drills, pushing hand, sticky hand, pushing hand, all that conditioning training when you do that too, striking and all that, and then just the reactions of moving, kata, whatever, meditation if you want to do that, breathing, all that, yeah. But not putting yourself in a situation. It's like you get martial arts schools that do it too, that go too hardcore, even in the traditional, I'm saying, they have for years. Stand there and let someone kick you in the fucking face, or, you know, or some of this crazy qigong. You know, I'm just saying, you know, like the limitations, things they do, but it's like there's limitations, you know, to what I think is acceptable. It's like you've got to take care of your human body, and everybody's different, and we are. And you see, you can all train to a certain level, we can all train to a similar level, we can all train our abilities and stuff, but it's like our condition and development, but it's like you've got to be real and say we're all human beings. And martial arts, for me, real martial arts is not about competition with people in these petty, pussy fucking modern fucking day issues that people got to sort their brains out and entertainment. No, it's for entertaining yourself by realising life is beautiful. Strengthen yourself to be able to carry yourself very positively in the world, and that's all it is. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you so much. Okay, I nearly said fucking Emil there. I don't know why I said Emil. I nearly said Emil. Recently, I've been thinking about because Demsley's told me about the Martial Arts Illustrated, so I was thinking about Bob Sykes and Emil. But sorry, this video is from Mike Reese, sorry, Mike Reese here. Everybody watching, this is for all of you watching, okay? But this video was really for Mike Reese. So Mike Reese, I've been talking to you here, and from my perspectives and my opinions, I don't know how you feel about that. So I'm saying I think competition, there's good elements of competition, but on the whole, it's pointless. That's what I'm trying to say. As in, publicise or like fucking that kind of ring, you know, that kind of putting yourself in danger, or for other people as well, like, you know, for the publicity, whatever. That's pathetic shit. What I'm trying to say is it should be competition with yourself always. That's what it is anyway. You know, it's like, it's what it is. The biggest enemy is yourself, as Jet Li always says. You know, martial arts is about life really. So it's about the competition. You should be training like to improve yourself and your abilities with people like in the dojo, or training with people, your ability on sparring and stuff like that. So thank you very much for watching this video, and thank you for your time always. I'm going to be watching more of your videos too. Please check out Mike Reese's videos, and thank you everybody for watching any of my videos and all the stuff I share, okay? See me loosening up my neck here. I've been doing some good training all today too, and I'm in good shape. I feel great in myself, keeping myself in just good shape on my level, just what suits me and my kind of training, and not putting myself in situations where I may get hurt. Right? That makes sense, right? Thank you for watching. Take care.